Hey there folks, Pliskin by 51mm, and tonight, or today rather, I decided to do my overview of the Black Rain Ordnance Franken build. Meant to do this earlier, but I've been wore out from overtime and just resting, taking it easy. So I better do it now while I still can, because I have another week of overtime looking down the barrel at me. So I'll do this video on the Black Rain Ordnance Franken build, and then later tonight I'll try to do the flashlights. I have to take them off their each individual rifles to kind of do a full rundown. I'll figure that out. But for right now, let's focus on the AR. Okay. So the Black Rain Ordnance, AR15, if we can call this that. It's Black Rain Ordnance upper with a PSA lower, and it started life in December of 2021. Let me get this out of the way real quick. Okay. Started life in December of 2021. I did a video initially on the upper when I purchased the upper from a local gun range, local gun store. It had a gun range in it. Never got to go to it, unfortunately. It had an indoor shooting range, but it was always open on the days that I was working, so that never panned out. It closed, unfortunately. It was a good gun store, but it's now gone. But I bought the upper for around $625, if I remember. I did a video on the upper, and it sat in my closet at the other place for about a year, because I bought the Black Rain Ordnance upper, and they still have these uppers. They're called the SOCOM, Black Rain Ordnance SOCOM. They're more of their traditional. They're not like their flat top, or with the hand guards that run the whole length of the barrel. This is more kind of like a GWAT era M4 style that they have. And I was on Black Rain Ordnance the other day, and they still have these uppers for sale for about the same price. So you can still go and buy one if you want to replicate my build, for example. But it sat in my closet the upper did, by itself, for about a year. And then I finally got around to buying a lower, because I got some of the other firearms I was working with, mainly my M70Z PAP. And there's another firearm in there I was working on, probably my 7.65 1909 Argentine Mauser. I was doing some work with it, but either way, I finally got the lower, and the lower is from PSA. And I went looking through my notes, because if you were to tell me to recite the name of this lower that I bought, this specific lower with the trigger and everything, by memory, well, it just won't happen, because I can't remember specific details like that when it comes to, individual parts. But anyway, I was smart enough to write down what the lower was, and it is called the PSA MFT Minimalist EPT lower, and I got it in black. And the MSRP, and I bought this lower in 2022 for around $159. $100.99, so about 160, and then if you add in taxes and all that, I can't remember exactly how much I paid for it once it got in front of me and I signed the 4473. A lot of moons have went through the sky since then. But either way, I put it together, and you know, the upper, lower were combined, and then I got my M1A Scout Squad, and then began a long process of where I would just take this rifle out and just shoot it, but never really do any actual work with it. This is one of my admittedly forgotten children of the gun locker type deal, because it seemed like there for a while, anytime I would start to work with it, I'd end up getting another gun or something else would come up and prevent me from working on it. Not to mention, about around that time, if I'm recalling, I had a bunch of car issues, and that was eating at paychecks and whatnot. So I was having to put a, you know, I had to keep the car running, and everything gun related kind of fell on the back burner. But this really fell on the back burner. It went for a long period of time where it was just black, like I hadn't painted it. Had the standard forearm, and the stock it came with, and it just had this flip up Magpul rear sight, and that was it. It was just enough to where you could take it out and go shoot, but it had no, I've clearly had time to add stuff to it, and all this was added to it within the last year. But either way, even though at the time, on my mental timeline that I'm listing off from memory to the camera right now, I was still getting out and shooting it quite a bit when I was going out shooting, because as fate would have it, and it's a very interesting detail and it's very cool, but this rifle and my St. Victor can both eat the Dillon 750 reloads that my dad and I have made for our DPMS Oracle rifles. And another thing is, too, his Daniel Defense Mark 12 can eat those same reloads. So there's about 5 ARs that can feed off the same reload and have no issues whatsoever, because the chambers are all cut so close that it's a non-issue. So that let me shoot this rifle quite a bit before I've upgraded it to the way you see it now. And then last year rolled around, and I had all my other firearms out of the way, so I was able to finally upgrade this rifle to the way I wanted it, and I can go down the upgrades here. Okay, so to start off from the front, do believe this is a Midwest Industries quad rail. I'm pretty sure. Actually, I think it says that on the inside there. Let me see. Yeah, Midwest Industries. It says it right in there. You can't really see it because of the lighting, but it is Midwest Industries quad rail. I've got a cheapo Surefire clone on there, M600B. The laser is the SMS laser light combo. I actually seen this in a review that a guy was doing, and I was intrigued by it. I still have not, unfortunately, been able to get out and test it. Last thing I did with this was I sighted the Viz laser. And I'll do this so you guys can see it because I have a pressure pad on the other side. There's the beam. I sighted the Viz laser in with the red dot. The red dot is a Spark AR red dot that was on my St. Victor, and it has been, was on the St. Victor, now it's on this. It's actually more suitable on this. I was playing musical scopes there a lot last year. I have a Magpul flip up rear sight in the back. And it actually will go, you can actually use the rear sight through the red dot to the front sight post. It's very convenient. So I always have it as backup. Let me flip the rifle around. And on the back, the buttstock is a B5 Systems buttstock. Now, I cannot remember the exact name of the buttstock. It's about the same deal with the lower. If you were to, you know, try to get me to tell you what the exact model is, I can't do it off the top of my head. So there's that, but it's from B5 Systems. And I put a vinyl Mandalorian skull on the buttstock. Looks pretty cool. It's purple. And the grip is actually the Daniel Defense pistol grip that came off my dad's Daniel Defense Mark 12. So all in all, this is the package. Very much a GWAT era, Global War on Terror era M4 build, and I absolutely love it. I did a pretty good job, I think. And the paint job is a modern, modern, yes. It's a urban camo style that I went for. I used may have been gunmetal gray. I did a video of painting it. I'm pretty sure I uploaded a video where I painted this rifle. You can check out my How to Camouflage a Firearm playlist to see for sure. I'm pretty sure I did. In fact, I know I did because I repeated myself like 12 times in the video where I kept saying, oh, I'm going to leave the forearm black, and then you add a buttstock later that's gray, which I ended up doing. But I remember because I looked back at the video and I'm like, why did I repeat myself like 20 times? Part of that has to do with the fact that the wait time for when I would apply a coat of paint, it seemed like it was taking longer for the paint to cure to the rifle than it normally does for other rifles that I have painted in the past. And it's that's probably, I think that's why, because I would start listening to music and then just keep repeating myself. Either way, that's besides the point. I went from like a urban camo look for this rifle. And the sling is a Vikings Tactics sling. They're tried and true. I have several of these. I've got one on my M1A loaded, one on my DPMS Oracle AR15, and one on my Remington 700 243. They're tried and true. Absolutely love them. They're rugged, and if you set them up right and get them to the length you want, that once that rifle goes over your shoulder, it's not coming off unless you want it to. And that's pretty much it on upgrades. I could talk about the lower and upper a little bit more. I'm going to show the bolts. Mag's empty, by the way. Go ahead and take the sling off. I'll just go ahead and take the upper and lower part. Oh wait, before I do that, this is the trigger pull. It's a very, very nice trigger. Very light. And the reset, if I can do this without causing massive global destruction on my desk here. And the reset is about like that. Very nice. You know, I've decided I'm not going to take it apart. I can do that in another video. Round count for this dude. I'm going to go out on a limb and say, let's just be safe, I've probably put about 700 through it. Maybe more. And I say this because I really don't know how many rounds I've put through it. But I will say this, that it has no problem eating ammunition. I've run quite a bit of different flavors through it. Mostly Full Metal Jacket ammunition, M193 and M855. I mean, I've run a lot of hand loads through it too. 52 grain hollow points. I can't remember the winning ingredients for the reloads at the moment. But this thing will shoot pretty damn good. Accuracy. It's a very accurate rifle too. It's got a 1 in 9 twist, so it favors light grain bullets. The times I have shot it and was taking my time and grouping with it, it shot pretty damn good, about on par with the Oracle. But that's the thing with AR-15s, they have almost... AR-15s have hellaciously boring accuracy. Once you find a cartridge or bullet weight that it prefers, that corresponds with the twist rate, you pretty much can shoot out centers on targets at 100 yards or whatever distance you're wanting to shoot all day long and not have any deviation unless you throw in a lot of loaded ammo. It could be from the same brand that's just loaded slightly different, or from a different batch or something or another, and only then will you see like your group change a little bit. But other than that, it's no different than any other AR-15 in accuracy, the accuracy department. Very boring accuracy, and I say that as a good thing, but the reason I recall it as boring because I've shot a lot of guns in my life. Everything from bolt action Remington 700s to 22 lever actions, 22 magnums, 22 magnum lever actions, M1As, AKs, break opens, Mausers, and I've hand loaded for a plethora of different firearms. And the reason I say that the AR-15 is boring and when it comes to accuracy is because of how little work you need to put into one of them to get them to shoot good. That's pretty much all. When I say that, that's what I'm coming down to. It's not that I'm saying like the AR pattern rifle is a bad gun in any way. It's just really, really easy to work with. So, and, you know, a novice could pick one of these up and start getting good groups out of them with the correct ammo for the bullet twist on the rifle twist of the barrel. But that's just here or there. It's typical AR accuracy. It shoots pretty good. So all in all, if you guys wanted to recreate this rifle, I would say it's definitely a very good rifle to recreate. If I were to put a price on one, on this build right here, with everything, well, I could probably put a number to it and it not be completely correct, because the time in which I bought a bunch of these parts, those times have long since ended. If I were to put like an estimated guess on the overall, you know, build, it'd probably be, let's just say about 1,200 all in all for the completed thing altogether. So it's not that difficult a build, honestly. And I will say this too, that the PSA lower has been phenomenal. People rag on PSA quite a bit, or they used to. I kind of think the general consensus of Palmetto State Armory is changing, because PSA is doing some pretty cool crap when it comes to firearms. They're making Krinkov AKS 74U variants now in 5.56, and I heard that they're making them in different calibers, and they're going to be making the Jackal in 308, which I can't wait for, because that seems like it would be a very fun, you know, 308 variant. Because I've been looking at their AR10s too. They've been really catching my eye lately. Give me a moment here. I gotta have some coffee here. I'm kind of up early for my occupation. Night shift at Amazon. But PSA, they did a good job on this lower. I've not had one issue with it. The only thing I need to do this with, I believe my St. Victor, but I can't remember off the top of my head, is I need to put an ambi safety on it. And then that'd be about it. I don't know if I'll change the trigger out for something lighter, because this is a CQB rifle at the end of the day, and I wanted to have my M4 clone, and I damn well got it. Took me about 3 years to do it, but I did it. It'd have took me less time if I had been more focused on this rifle and not had so many other things pop up. But I don't really need anything precise for this. The only thing going forward I may do, other than just mag dump the crap, oh, it hit the light. Other than just mag dump the crap out of it from this point on, depending on how things go with the next couple of years in regards to firearm ownership. We do have a election in the next couple months, and the insane asylum may see the purge creep up through the back of the broom closet. There's always that, but if things on that front are stabilized. And basically what I'm saying is, if if we're still able to own these in about 5 years time, which I'm not getting rid of mine, but you know, you guys understand where I'm coming from. If I'm still able to get online and purchase ammo for it within the next 5 years at max, this thing's just going to be a bullet hose. Can't talk. But what I may do in future regarding further attachments is just put like maybe a primary arms SLX on there, or an ACOG, give or take. I started the burps. They're not going to stop. I'm going to do this in one take. So all in all, I'm very pleased with it. It's a very reliable build, and even though I call it my M forgery, and I understand some people would have an absolute stroke and fall on the floor and begin to convulse at the idea of this being close to like a government issue M4, which I understand it. This is pretty far from, especially with the barrel profile being as thick as it is. It's got that SOCOM barrel in it, or so they say. It's just a thicker profile barrel, and that's to help with accuracy and all that. But this is my M forgery, and I absolutely love it. So all in all, it's a great build, a great rifle. It's run reliably. In the 3 years I've had it, in the 1 year, it's been configured like this for 1 year, but I've been shooting it for 2, and just mag dumping it, not really doing much. But I've not had no cycling issues, and it shoots pretty damn good. So I'm going to keep working on it, and as the years go on, just like I did with my M1A loaded and a few other guns, I've almost owned the M14 pattern rifle for 10 years. So be looking out for September of 2025, because there's going to be a lot. I'll have some I have some crazy videos in mind, because you know, working with a rifle platform for literally a decade, you learn a lot, and I don't regret it one bit. So there'll be more videos on this in this style in the future as I shoot it more and get it out more. And I've done this with other firearms in the past. I need to do one for my Remington 700 243 as well, because I've had it for well over a decade now. Actually, I've had it at a decade now, believe it or not. So anyway, until next time, which should hopefully be later tonight when I do my video on my flashlights. I'll catch you guys all in the next video. Hope you enjoyed the footage and my preview, my little halfway review of my M forgery. And special shout out to the surprise guest, the Rock Island Armory 1911, who has sat here as kind of a co-host for half the video, or for the full video basically. So anyway, until the next video guys, I'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace.